see, we've got some hooks put up, which is good. It gets all the pipe work off the side of the sink or wherever it is, and gets it up where we can see it out of the way. It can drain off, and also we have the hook up for the recirculation arm for the mash tun, which I'm going to alter the pipe on that in a second, and there's just enough room on that hook just to slide the false bottom up there. It's just keeping everything out of the way, basically. All these little bits, the little touches, organised. Got some of these little spray bottles, and this one's already got some star san out of it. I think there's like 0.7 mil of star san in here, because there's half a litre in there. So I just measured it out, put it in. I'm not wasting a load of star san, and there we go. I needed that obviously for the little occasions where we want to sanitize stuff down when we dry up in the Idaho, which is pretty much coming up to being done. In the next couple of days I'll pop a video up where we dry hop, and so obviously I want to spray it all down for that. And of course in the brew day the ring came off, the seal came off the lid, so you know, I could have had it then just to make sure everything was properly sanitized, but I didn't have it at the time. Now we do. Trying to work out the space a little bit more. So you're sat on the windowsill, so actually where I think is not a bad place to have stuff like the refractometers, the scales, the bottles, the caustic, which I've double bagged now and vac packed, the hydrometer, thermometer, etc. Yeah, just having it in that corner is pretty good. It's near the sink, wash, put over there. I think it works quite well. Anyway, we've got this to look at today. This has come from Keg King. It got sent to me before we even moved. I've had it ages, and of course, because we didn't do any brewing, it's not been used, but I'm going to use it for kegging this Idaho 7 American Pale Ale. So we're going to have a look at this and put it together and see what we think about it. It's a 20 litre pressure fermented keg. The idea for these is you can ferment in it and then serve straight out of it. But what I want to do with this one is just use it as a keg. When I rack this Idaho 7 from the snub nose into the junior is made of the same plastic as the snub nose, so it's clear. So as I'm racking, I can see how much is going in there, and of course when we're using the beer, when we're running it through the tap and drinking it, we can see how much is left. Not massively important once the beer is kegged and you're drinking it. You know when it's run out, because no more beer comes out of it. But for racking into, it's going to be nice to be able to see how much is going in, how much space I've got left, etc. So we're going to put that together. At some point I will ferment a beer in it and then serve off of it in the future, just to see what it's like, because I've never done that before. I've always racked off the yeast bed into a keg and then took it from there. Shall we have a look at it? Have a look at this. Have a look at this Fermenter King. Fermenter King Junior. There we go. There she is, boys. There she friggin' is. So this is the main body of the Fermenter King Junior, and in this bag we have all the tranquilments to put it together. The lid portion with the seal. We have the collar for screwing it down. We have a length of silicone hose that will attach itself to the floating pickup. That's the gas in, and that's the bevy out. So nice and simple. Let's pop it together. We've also got the pressure relief valve that goes in the lid, and this bung which goes into this hole here, but from the inside. Oh, what an idiot. Been a bit premature there, getting the old floaty stainless steel float attached to it. Because we've got to feed it through there, haven't we? You big damco. The old Keg King Junior, ready to take the bevy, the beer. I'm looking forward to using a new bit of kit. There she is. Thank you, Dan. Massive thanks to Dan over at Keg King for sending this out. And in fact, I've messaged Dan recently to say, alright mate, I'm back at it. And we've been in talks again, which is brilliant. So watch this space. There may be something else coming. Right, before we do the sign off, let's sort out this. Right, so this, if you remember, was extremely kindly sent to me from Norway. Hot Rod Garage. This friggin' cool sticker, which is the project that he started with his friend at Hot Rod Garage. There we go. I think he changed his and he said, do you want this? And he very kindly sent it over. But when I was brewing with it, when I was brewing with it, it wasn't sitting on top of the grain bed. Now maybe it was a loose bed, it may have had a little bit too much water in it, but it was sinking down into the grain bed, and we didn't really like the look of it when we were brewing, me and Harry. So it worked for me a lot better just having it above the grain bed. The mash just recirculates through it and just rains down like a sparge, and there wasn't really, it worked a treat, to be fair. And of course we had a brilliant clear wort that ran into the boil pot. Sorry, we had a beautiful clear wort that ran into the boil pot, and we ended up higher on our gravity, so there was no negative to having it out the mash a little bit. So if it works, it works, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten this hose so that it doesn't drop down. I'm going to shorten it quite a bit actually, probably take a good 4 inches off of it. So now it's hovering, it's level, and I think that'll work a lot better. So I'm going to shorten that now. I think that last piece was a little bit too short. This looks a bit better. So we put it in like that. That's better. That's what I want. It's sitting relatively flat, which is good for getting a sparge, but in all fairness, once you've got like 2 inches of water above your grain, as long as it's trickling in and it's not channeling anything, or you've got a tube in there that's feeding the sparge into one side of the mash tun, as long as it's gently going over that 2 inches of water, then you're fine. We'll test it out on the next brew day. So that's it, fellas. So we've had a look at the Fermenter King Junior from Keg King. I can't wait to use it. Another bit of kit that I've never used before. A little bit of something different. So when we've done the dry up in the next video, I think 3 days, I think the dry up is 3 days after that, we'll give a crash chill, and then we'll wrap this puppy into the Fermenter King Junior to serve off of. We've got the beautiful hooks on the wall, so all the hoses are off the counters and hanging up nicely. Same with the recirculation manifold and the mash bottom for the mash tun. and we've sorted out the length of that, so hopefully that's going to work a lot better in the next brew day. But that's it, fellas, that's it. Check out the Patreon. I'm starting to upload videos onto there prior to them going onto the main page. So for the patrons out there, they'll be seeing videos like the brew day video, the first video of me brewing in here. That was on Patreon a few days before it went live. That's it, so as always. Don't forget the thumbs, criticals, don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the button to the video to see the next time.